Hey everyone, it's Kevin Ketcham, aka the NerdyJock, and I am here to give you guys a short solo pod about why you need to see Demon Slayer Infinity Castle Part 1 if you have not yet. Now, I'm assuming anyone who has listened to my podcast or watched us on YouTube has probably already seen Demon Slayer Infinity Castle because it's the biggest movie in the world right now. I think where I'm as of today, it has already grossed $500 million worldwide, the biggest opening in Japan or America for an anime film, which is insane and amazing. So all the otakus out there, thank you so much for getting involved in that, because the more people go see it in the theaters, the more anime we'll get on the big screen. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. This movie was amazing. I had a lot of doubts. I had a lot of concerns. I had a lot of questions going into this film. But let me assure you that all those questions were put to rest, and it was a fantastic experience. I'd say I give it, honestly, an A+ or a 10 out of 10. I mean, it was flawless, and we'll talk about that right now. I'll just jump right into what made this film work so well. Now, first of all, most of the people that worked on the Demon Slayer's TV series were involved in the film as well. Sometimes different projects, they'll have people come in that aren't really super involved from the TV show into the film, but luckily, you've got a lot of the main staff, some of the great art directors and overall directors and sound engineers who are involved. And I'm just going to list a couple names real quick off the top because we already know the artwork was exceptional. Probably one of the best animated films I've ever seen. And that's no exaggeration. I mean, it was amazing. The art direction was fantastic. That was done by Hikaru Kondo, was the director there, the main overall director. And trust me, he worked his ass off because this was not an easy film to pull off by any stretch of the imagination. So kudos to the whole team, but especially Hikaru Kondo for that one. Animation, Hiro Sotozaki and Akira Matsushima. Sorry, I'm not trying to butcher names here, trying the best I can, but I just want to give them a shout out as well for their working on the animation because, if you thought Demon Slayer, the TV series animation was insane, they leveled up. I don't know how they did it, but it's even more gorgeous, even more crisp, even more fluid. I mean, when you take your time to do a great piece of cinema, a great piece of art, it pays off. And I think it did in spades on this one. So shout out to everyone involved in there for making this happen because it was amazing. I mean, you have to see it. Yeah, let's just take a preface here. If you haven't seen it in the theater, go see it now. I saw it in IMAX theater, which was amazing, at 2:40 on a Monday afternoon, and it was still pretty darn packed. I mean, I think there's like 50 or 60 people in there, and it wasn't a huge theater. I mean, it was a huge screen, but as far as seats, I mean, maybe like 150 seats. I mean, like it was halfway full. I'll tell you that. And that's a Monday afternoon at 2:40. So, it was cool to have that experience on the big screen and in IMAX, guys. I can't stress that enough. It's a total different experience than watching it, even if you have a 75-inch, LCD, Ultra HD 4K display at home. With surround sound, it doesn't compare. So get out there and go get your tickets if you haven't seen it. If you have, go see it again while it's still out. It's awesome. Now, like I said, the animation, the artwork was amazing. The pacing. This movie didn't hold up. I mean, there were some slow moments here and there when they're doing backstories for Akaza. Akaza, his backstory was told in this film. And by the way, I'm not going to do any spoilers, really. Not heavy spoilers at all, really. So, you can check anywhere else on YouTube to find those. I want you guys to go in fresh and clean, but I'm just telling you some cool things about it. Because this film was 2.5 hours long, you'd think like, oh, it would have some pretty dull moments or maybe some downtime, but no, it was like we jump in and it's like it's a train that's not a train, Mugen Train arc, right? No, it's a train on tracks and it just keeps trucking along. So not only is it nonstop action with beautiful animation, it showed backstory a couple times. There were like, some really emotional backstories, especially some of the demons' backstories, like they had in the final battle with Akaza. That was amazing. And it was slower, yeah, but it didn't really take you out of the film or the excitement. And it was gripping and it was a great story to where you still were 100% locked in. And when it did feel like it was going to slow down a bit, boom, they would cut and jump to like live or right now instead of a flashback. And it would just throw you right back in the action, which was amazing. So that goes hand in hand. The score, Yuki Kajura and Go Shina, they both did the score on this film, and it was great. I mean, I think the score was quite possibly one of the sneaky, like, winners of this film, is it had a very methodic kind of like up tempo, fast paced, pumping music, just to keep the energy going when these guys, when our Demon Slayer, corps are going around trying to, destroy hordes of demons. It really, really helped to have this awesome score just like kind of pulsating in the background. It kind of reminded me of like how you'll get films like Tron Legacy, a great film. I think Daft Punk did the score to that, right? But the score was built around the movements and the animation in this film, just like it was in Tron Legacy, and it really gave it an overall like great flow and helped round out the experience to make it just mind blowing. And when you're listening to it in the theater, it's nothing can beat that. I mean, just there's nothing comparable. Now, let's get into plot here a little bit. Like I said, no spoilers, but just basic plot is that, they're dropped into, Muzen's Infinity Castle. And what makes this so exciting was that, not every time in a film does the setting play such a large role in the intensity of the film. Like maybe a horror film, you got a Michael Myers or like a Halloween kind of thing where it takes place in a house for the main part, or out in the streets. Like having this battle, this whole film take place inside this Infinity Castle was great. It was a masterclass because the Infinity Castle is always moving, it's always changing, the dimensions are changing. It's like a endless infinity castle. So that by its own nature ratchets up the tension to like 11 because they don't know where they're going. They're getting worn out running around killing all these demons, it continually shifts. It puts their lives in danger. They're falling like hundreds of stories at a time and they don't know if they're going to survive. I mean, just the Rubik's Cube kind of action of the shifting and changing of the setting really does keep the tension at an all-time high. So the entire film, whenever it's shown in the Infinity Castle and not a flashback, it's the setting alone gives it like this amazing kind of adrenaline rush when you're watching it. So bravo to them. Infinity Castle is so much fun, guys. It's so great. Some character beats here. We've got I'd say three main fights, right? And I'm not going to go into details about the fight, but there are some amazing animated, beautifully animated fights here. Not just animation, but heart-wrenching as well. I mean, we have a fight between Shinobu and Doma, who is crazy, by the way. This guy's a sadist. I mean, it is insane to watch this. So just a spoilers that, it's rated R for a reason, guys. It is not for the faint of heart. I mean, there were a couple times when I had to like look away, and it's animated. So it was gut-wrenchingly beautifully animated, and it was pretty explicit. I mean, it's a hard R for a reason. But that first fight with Shinobu and Doma, amazing. The second fight, between Zenitsu and Kaigaku, awesome. Like that fight was probably my low-key, like I did not expect that. When you go into a film that they're gonna have some great fights, especially in a Demon Slayer film. But the fact that we got this really cool Zenitsu fight, and I feel like Zenitsu, he doesn't really get in the show, he doesn't really get his moments. Well, guess what? In this part one of Infinity Castle, he gets his moment. And he takes full advantage of it. And it is so cool, what he does, how he levels up and shows off some new skills, which I'm not going to ruin for or spoil for you now. But like, I just get giddy thinking about it because it was an amazing fight. And it really, really helped develop his character because, his main, nemesis, Kaigaku, they have met before. And, they trained in the same, thunder breathing, school. So they were supposed to be co-chairs of the school, and one went demon and one went demon corpse, demon slayer. So just to see those guys face off was in and of itself an amazing fight, and I love that battle. That was a beautiful battle. But obviously, Tanjiro's our hero. The main fight's going to involve him, and let me tell you this: the fight it was Tanjiro and Giyu versus Akaza, and wow. Just wow. Like, words really don't even describe how cool this fight was. It was extraordinarily long. It was a 30 plus minute fight, it felt like. And not one moment was boring. I mean, you had some great team ups. You had some solo moments with Giyu or Tanjiro or even Akaza versus himself. Spoiler. Like everything in this fight that you think could happen happens. I was worried because this film is, it's part one of three. Like, are they going to have any kind of classic shonen leveling up moments? And the finale fight with Tanjiro versus Akaza gave us just that. I'm not going to go into details, obviously, but you got to check it out if you haven't seen it, and it levels up. I mean, I'm talking, it gave me the same feeling that you get when you watch Goku going Super Saiyan 1, or even, Luffy going Gear 5 in One Piece. I mean, it has that kind of energy, and in doing so, it doesn't let you down. You don't feel left unfulfilled when you leave the theater. You leave feeling that you saw a complete, full film. It wasn't just part one of part three. It was its own experience, and it worked. So I give it a 10 out of 10 overall. But the most important note about my hesitations with this film and why it surpassed it and overcame all my expectations was that I thought it's going to be hard to break this, arc into a three film series, right? The Infinity Castle arc. I was like, how are they going to make this work for a theater? It's a TV show. Season 1 of Demon Slayer had 26 episodes, the longest one yet. Season 2 had 21 with the Mugen Train arc. And then, season 3 was, Hashira training. That had 11 episodes. So I was like, well, how are they going to fit all these characters, all the character development, all the action, and make this work in a seamless film, like watching a film. It's not like when you watch Dawn to Dawn in the theater or even a Dragon Ball movie, they're just precursors or a couple episodes of the next season. Well, it felt like a complete cinematic film experience. Now, what makes it so great was that this movie was not short, guys. Every dollar you pay to go see this movie, you're getting your money's worth. It is 235 minutes long. 155 minutes long, which is 2 hours and 35 minutes long. Now, if you put that in perspective of, let's say, watching the TV show, minus the opening credits, minus the recap, and minus the closing credits, that roughly gives you 20 minutes per episode, right? Well, this film, if you say 155, divided by 20, that's 7 episodes basically. So you're getting like a huge chunk of a season of viewing in this one film. Now, if Infinity Castle Part 2 and Part 3 are both 2.5 hours long, then that's the equivalent of with no end credits, no openings, no recaps. That's equivalent to 21 episodes of a season of TV, which is ginormous. It hasn't had that much since season 1. So not only are they giving us a full non-stop action-packed event, but they're giving us more. So I didn't think they're going to accomplish that. That was my biggest question going into this. I was worried when they announced instead of a season, it was going to be broken down into 3 films. But, thankfully, I was wrong. They released a fantastic film, A+, 10 out of 10, a must-watch in theaters. See it now as soon as you can because it is mind-blowing. I mean, you're going to love it, guys. If you're a Demon Slayer fan, I go check it out. If you haven't watched Demon Slayer yet, catch up as soon as possible. Or, I hate to say it, watch a YouTube recap of what to watch until, before Infinity Castle. You could do that. But either way, just make sure you see this in the theaters before it leaves theaters because it is absolutely worth it. It's important to note also, guys, and I'm just going kind of quick here that I did see it in the original Japanese with subtitles. That's my preferred way to watch anime. But I'm excited to see it in English. So I'm gonna go with my fiance sometime this next week, and we're gonna try to see it in the English. My fiance Angie, she's a big Channing Tatum fan, so he's doing a voiceover for this film. So that'll be exciting for her. But she enjoys watching it next to me when I was watching the series, and can't wait to see it again. So kudos to the whole team. Way to go, 500 million plus and rolling at the box office. Let's bring more animes to the big screen. This film definitely helped. Just one personal note, I'm sorry I've been on a long hiatus. I've been in and out of town and working nonstop, but if I can't get with Dan and do a pod with him, I'm at least gonna do little mini solo pods in between. Catch you guys up on what I'm watching. Like right now, I'm on episode 602 of One Piece, so I've been literally crushing tape there. I'm in Punk Hazard, having a good time watching One Piece. You can't be a real fan of anime and not watch one of the big 3. So I'm there. I'm watching Kaiju number 8. I'm having a really good time with season 2 of that. Dawn to Dawn, haven't gotten to that yet, but you know, I've read all the manga. You can see up here, so I'm kind of way ahead of the animation, but can't wait to dive into that one too. So until next time, guys, check out Demon Slayer in theaters right now, and like, subscribe, follow us on all of our platforms. All right, love you guys. Talk to you soon. Os.